All right, let's get it going right here, right now. This is Eyes Up Here. You're watching an Eyes Up Here YouTube extra on the Eyes Up Here YouTube channel. And of course, every time we go here live and tape delay on the YouTube channel, I'm joined here by the one and only Queen of Extreme, a little under the weather Queen of Extreme, Francine, but we've got a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna get you in here now. What's going on with you, my sick queen?
I'm the queen of the flu season, apparently. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm here again for breaking news. Breaking news to me because I just saw it really recently. But this is a story that has been floating around, especially, for the people who are in the business for years and years. And it's about Ashley. How do you say her last name? Massaro?
Massaro, yes.
Massaro. Ashley Massaro. I knew her when I worked in WWE in 2006. She was also there, and she was a very, very nice girl. I have nothing bad to say about that girl. Beautiful girl, very sweet. I remember hanging out with her in the locker room, just chatting. Very good personality. Loved her daughter. And when I found out the news, that she had taken her own life, it was devastating. More so because of the circumstances behind it. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because apparently her best friend has come out and added some fuel to the fire, so to speak, in her case. She's giving exclusive details as to what Ashley had told her before she passed away. So we're going to dive a little bit into this story. With everything going on with Vince McMahon right now, this just adds to the horrible things that are being accused of not only Vince, but of the company in general. And this story reflects on the company, because what happened was apparently in Kuwait, overseas, doing a tour. She needed medical help while she was out there, and was taken advantage of. We don't use that word because we get in trouble on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. Taken advantage of by the military, they're saying. Now, was it U.S. military or was it foreign military?
I'm under the belief from stuff we've seen that it was members of the U.S. military.
U.S. military. That's what I saw too, but I wasn't sure if it was 100% correct. And initially, she was so out of it, didn't know what was going on, was told to sweep it under the rug so WWE it was WWE. WWE can still have good relations overseas. So told to keep it hush hush, so to speak, which is disgusting, if true. Absolutely disgusting. She's lived with this for, I don't know how long, between her going through this ordeal and then her suicide. But now the girlfriend, her best friend, comes out, and there are pictures in the video that show that she was friends with Ashley. So you can't say this is just a woman looking, to be on TV or whatever. She was best friends with Ashley, and she's giving some details as to, what Ashley went through. And a lot of what this woman says matches up with what Paul London says. Now, Paul London, also a worker, also a wrestler. At the time that I was there, I know Paul, very nice guy. He was Ashley's boyfriend. So in the clips that I watched, he was stating how Ashley was very upset. He told a story about Kevin Dunn always coming up to her hotel room, banging on her door, wanting to come in, and her crying, not wanting to let him in the room. I don't remember if he told the story specifically about this instance. If he did, he was a little vague about it. I don't I don't remember him saying like names in particularly. Maybe there's a clip that I didn't see. I don't know if you saw something that has to do with this instance. But he did talk a lot about the struggles and the harassment that she went through when she worked for the company.
This story about Kuwait came out after she passed away. Like
Mhm.
this started to surface after she passed away. The one that was around when she was still alive was the one with Vince McMahon. That was she kind of alleged that he started to take an interest in her and she wasn't very comfortable with it,
Mm.
and that she actually did reach out to Kevin Dunn about what should she do about Vince McMahon, and
Of
Kevin
all
Dunn
people.
right, and Kevin Dunn advised her to just say you're not feeling well.
So you're supposed to say you're not feeling well every single time somebody makes an advance at you?
I guess.
Uh, I don't know about that, but okay. And again, everything we're saying is alleged, allegedly, like we always do. I wasn't there, Chad wasn't there. But we're just taking everything that is coming out and piecing it together. And the story that came out recently with her girlfriend just struck my interest because it's somebody else that was on the inside that wasn't in the business but is giving their point of view. So um we'll dive into that. I think we have clips that we're going to run. There was one segment that was on the news recently that I watched, and it was almost a 6-minute segment with her girlfriend, explaining the ordeal that Ashley went through. And the reporter just was asking her questions, trying to find out as much as she possibly can. But again, this is another blow to the WWE because of all of the allegations and all of the first with Janelle, and now this, and prior to Janelle, all of the women that have come out and have said they had like weird encounters with either Vince or somebody on the staff of WWE. It is just adding to it, and it makes you think, like, in the beginning one story comes out and you're like, okay, I wasn't blah blah blah, but the more you think about it and the more people say things, it makes you think to yourself, I'm going to believe every story that happens. This has to be true. These men are, it's like these men are vultures to these women. And, sometimes you don't feel safe in that environment. And again, I'm going back to me, and it sounds like a broken record, but I just said no right away and I was released, you know? Um, and that was it. And even if you think like you can lead somebody on but not do something, you're going to put yourself in a really bad situation that way. So in my case, I just nipped it in the bud. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing it, blah, blah, blah. And I was gone. And I didn't even care because I didn't want to be there anyway. But some of these women, this is their goal in life. I want to be Divas champion, or I want to be WWE women's champion. And again, I'm not saying every woman had to go on the casting couch, especially in this day and age. But back then, you just heard so many stories circulating of who did what with who, and that's why they got their push. So, again, I don't know. I wasn't privy to these conversations. I just know what I went through, seeing what I went through. Thank God it wasn't horrific. It didn't scar me or anything. I can go back and just roll my eyes at it and say, well, they tried, but they failed. And that was that. But they're predators in a sense. And they prey on these young girls who want fame and fortune.
Right.
Girls are cool with it. Some girls are not cool with it. And that's that.
Well, how about this? Let's go back to 2003, right? The Diva Search, just as a concept. As someone in the business in 2003, what was your perception of that concept? Because they were giving a massive prize, and the thought was at the time, from a fan's perspective, they're going to now take a huge chunk of TV and dedicate it to, I mean, really, it was essentially a bikini contest every week that was not necessarily furthering any kind of stories. It wasn't really integrated into the wrestling program. It was just like literally it was just, you know, lingerie bikini contest just thrown on the television. And essentially, even though there was a winner of every Diva Search, there was a mass hiring after it.
Hired everybody.
And they hired basically the top 10 of every one of those searches.
Yeah.
So it was incredible. But what was the perception of those Diva Searches outside of, you know, essentially WWE, or maybe even inside WWE from what you heard?
A lot of the boys hated it. You know, a lot of the boys were just like, why are, why, you know, we understand that sex sells, you know, 100% sex sells, right? But a lot of the guys resented it because they were taking away TV time from matches that could have been going on. And some people just had to sit on the sidelines and wait. And these girls, you know, you got the 10 participants and 2 of them are making out and one of them's running around in a bra and panties and one of them's on her hands and knees doing God knows what. It was a dog and pony show.
Right.
And you really didn't have to have any talent to be in the Diva Search. Let's call a spade a spade. You didn't. Back in the day, Johnny Ace was known for opening up a swimsuit catalog and saying, I like her, I like her, I like her. Let's call them up, get them in here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I give the girls credit, the ones that actually were in the Diva Search and then trained
Right.
to be a part
and
of,
had careers.
yeah, like they went on to, you know, some of them went on to become Divas champions. Some of them learned to wrestle. I give them credit for that. But, you know, there were some that just didn't know their ass from their face and constantly got TV time and didn't deserve it. So a lot of the boys resented that whole segment. And I get it. You know, I don't think it's jealousy. I think a lot of us worked to get to where we are, and to have it be taken away by a segment that was so stupid, because a lot of the times it was just
some of the stuff they did was very dumb. I mean, it was bad, but again, like you said, it opened the door for people who did have very good careers in WWE and then beyond WWE, and used it as the catapult to what they did afterwards. So all power to you. You know, it was great. But now, as we look back, we go, what was the Diva Search all about?
I just feel like it was just finding new girls for the company. That's all it was. They just wanted new, fresh meat, younger girls. Once you step foot into the business, you either get the bug or you don't. And the girls who got the bug wanted to better themselves. And again, I give them credit for that. But then again, it goes back to that casting couch. How many of them had to go through, you know, talent relations and Vince's office and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I really don't know. But I just know there was resentment in the WWE locker room and also in the world of professional wrestling, because a lot of the established workers would just shake their heads, you know. And I know you have to evolve and there's different segments, and I think there's a time and a place for everything, but I feel like the Diva Search was more of a joke than it was a legitimate way to find women for the business. I mean, making out with another girl doesn't qualify you to be in the WWE. Stuff like that was demeaning. And I don't know if they took it upon themselves to do it to get a cheap pop, or the writer said, I want you to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that was, how that went down. But to me, it just, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but we got a lot of talent out of it. You know, we did get a
For
lot of
sure.
good girls out of it. So that's the plus of it.
That no, 100%. Now the
Yeah.
big thing coming out of this appearance on News Nation and this interview with Ashley Banfield is that the best friend, this Cara Pipia, named names, and that was the thing, is that she dropped a name
Right.
that hasn't been said yet in any of the court filings. You know, we've heard the name Vince McMahon, we've heard the name John Laurinaitis, but she named a name that we haven't heard yet mentioned, and that's creating a big buzz. And she mentioned Stephanie McMahon as knowing about the incident that happened in Kuwait, and that she was supposed to kind of be the I guess you say like the womanly presence to help Ashley with the incident, and that when they were basically like, we're gonna have to move past this, that Stephanie was supposed to be like maybe like the like womanly helper to help her with it, and that they were all kind of like, we got to move past this. And that was kind of the big takeaway that everybody's having with this interview last night.
Yeah, because Stephanie was a woman, Vince passed it on to her, and Stephanie, her role was to make her feel safe, and that was the key word I think that was used, was safe. But how can you feel safe when something like this happens to you under their watch?
Right.
There's nothing like. And then she also mentions that after this ordeal happened, she was carried out by a a member of the WWE staff, carried out of the room, so they knew it happened, and she was left in Kuwait while everyone else goes home because they were needed to work.
Right.
And she's there on her own, and eventually, 2 days later or something, she gets a flight.
Right.
Why would they not take her back with them? What was the purpose of making her stay in this foreign country by herself alone, if that's true? That I didn't understand at all.
Yeah, because it's like, even if you're behind enemy lines, where she's safer, behind enemy lines or on an American consulate soil, because that's apparently where the bad stuff happened. So wherever she was going to be, she apparently was not in safe ground, unfortunately.
I mean, can you
she's by
imagine?
herself.
You get taken advantage of, and then you're stuck there with no one. What did she do? Just sit in her hotel room until they got her a flight? I mean, that your mental health is 100% affected in this. I couldn't even imagine what she was going through, having to be alone.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. But we do have a clip, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's play what she says, and then we can take parts of it. Oh, look at her.
She had such a unique look too.
Yeah, like that Avril Lavigne kind of badass look.
Yeah.
She came off as.
McMahon. She spoke with Vince McMahon many times. Vince had his daughter,
Stephanie McMahon,
take his place because she was a female, a woman, and to make Ashley comfortable, and they just played with her. They played with her because everything that Stephanie had made her feel comfortable, safe about. As soon as they walked into this boardroom meeting, Ashley was on her own completely, and she was threatened, and there was no compassion, there was no sympathy, there was nothing.
So Ashley Massaro, your best friend, told you that she went into a boardroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the WWE, where Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, and other executives were seated.
Yes.
And that's where she was told, this has to stay under wraps.
That is right. And she had, right before she walked into that boardroom, she talked to the locker room doctor, who was aware of everything, and he was actually very sympathetic to her, but he had no pull. So he gave her the advice that he could, and
Sickening. Unbelievable. So what if this had happened to Stephanie McMahon while she was out there? Do you think the same scenario would have went down?
I do not.
No. If it's your daughter, If it's the daughter of somebody on the, on the board and on the staff worked for WWE. I mean, this is just repulsive. And it could have been prevented. And it was just, God, it was just something that it's been floating around forever. I've heard this story forever, and now look at everything that's coming out, and people aren't afraid to speak anymore. And it's just one story after another. So just absolutely disgusting. I believe this woman because I believe Paul London as well. I believe what he said. What do they have to lie about?
Yeah.
She's not going to gain anything from this. She's just telling her friend's story. But I just, what was she going through when this happened? Like that poor girl. I couldn't even imagine. It's just utterly unbelievable. And it just makes me have so much more hatred towards this company. The more I find out, I'm full of rage towards them right now. And there's more. There's other women that
yes.
have suffered at their hands.
Yes.
And again, it's allegedly, but I'm leaning towards believing. I really am.
Yeah, that mid 2000s era, there was just too much stuff that was murmured about that I just have a feeling is going to start coming out little by little by little. I mean, and look, Ashley was not shy about what she said. She said she saw times where Vince McMahon was making out with other divas backstage. She was not shying away. And, Paul London, he is a great source. I mean, because he does not give a what. He does not give a crap.
No, he doesn't.
And he's strong in his convictions. He's a great source of information. You got to take it. You got to and run with it because he's been saying it for years. His stories haven't changed.
So when you just said that Ashley had said Vince McMahon is making out with divas backstage, was that I never heard that?
Oh, yeah, she said this in interviews. Yeah.
So it wasn't for a segment. This was just privately.
Yes. Yes. She said this in an interview. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you never heard that?
No, I never heard it from her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Unreal.
But I mean, look, I'm just scrolling. I literally just have the timeline up, of what we were just looking at. I mean, and it's incredible to see what he did for television purposes. I mean, you see what I have here on the side. I mean, you just got to think, what else is going to come out? It just, you know what I'm saying? It just, what else is out there?
Yeah, it sickens me.
Now, I will give you one update. Remember we spoke about that there was a storyline that was out there. Stephanie and Vince have a storyline where she had a promo that was pretty heavy.
When she was 17?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's a clip where Bruce Pritchard claims Stephanie wrote that line. So there's tons of sites sharing that. Saying that, look, Vince put this line on TV. How could he do this with all the things we know now? How could this have gotten on TV? So I saw a clip from the Something to Wrestle show with Bruce and Conrad saying Stephanie wrote that. And Vince was like, let's go with it.
Are they alluding to the fact that Stephanie is speaking from experience?
Did not. Bruce just said that Stephanie came up with the line and Vince just thought it was a good line for television.
It was a good line, but is it a true line is what and that's the speculation.
Yeah, nope. There was no further questioning about it. Conrad's questioning was whether or not it was alluding to the rumors of that ridiculous Macho Man rumor around for years. Absolutely preposterous rumor that has been debunked a billion times.
Wasn't she 14 or something when she supposedly slept with the Macho Man?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But then again, it's wrestling. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. Exactly.
Excuse me. I every time I go on social media, I cringe because I'm like, is there going to be another story that comes out? And this story broke my heart. It's very upsetting. I've heard it so many times, but now with these added little tidbits to it, it's just makes me sick to my stomach. And I mean, why would you even, hopefully it's changed, but why would you even want to work for a company like that? And hopefully they are weeding out all of the bad seeds. Most of the execs that were involved in these scandals, one by one, they're dropping like flies. You know what I mean? So under this TKO and Hunter and everything, I'm just hoping that these girls are safe. They don't have to go through this crap the way that, the girls did years ago. And I honestly hope that everybody involved gets their day and has to suffer for their sins, because to me, this is repulsive.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anything else to add, or are we done?
I don't know what else to say until
are we speechless?
It's sad.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. You have 2 daughters. I would never, and my son, I would never want them to go through any of this. That's why my kids are never getting in this stupid business. This is the stupid part of the business. There are bright sides and there are dark side of the ring sides. And I do not want my children involved in any way whatsoever. So, unfortunately, it's another scab on our beloved wrestling business. And there's going to be more. And when they come out, we're going to cover them. So get ready. You're probably going to be flooded with a bunch of YouTube videos.
Yep.
God only knows what other stories there are out there.
I'm sure you will be. Well, you can be flooded with YouTube videos. You could also join us on iHeartRadio. This coming Tuesday, we have a brand new episode that will. I implore you to subscribe. That's all I can say. A phenomenal episode coming soon to iHeartRadio. Should we say, or should we just let them be subscribed?
No, we're going to let them wait it out. But we did a really good interview with a very influential person in the entertainment industry. And it was very enjoyable. And I liked it a lot. And also, I want to add this Monday at 8 p.m. Did we decide? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going live on YouTube for my birthday. So I hope everybody subscribes, rings the bell, and joins us at 8 o'clock. We'll do a live. We'll have some fun. Go over some things that are happening in the world of professional wrestling. Hopefully there's a fun story that breaks by Monday and we don't have to cover all this gruesomeness. But I implore you to subscribe, because we are really, really close to 10,000 subscribers. And I want to hit it before Monday. And I think we have a good chance to do so. So won't you join me for my 29th birthday?
Yes, please.
No, it's my 52nd birthday. How crazy. Yeah.
Don't look a day over 51.
Thanks. I appreciate that. All right. Great.
All right. Well, if that's all we got, we will see you Monday night for a little Monday night Francine birthday. So for the Queen of Extreme, this is the Chadster. We will catch you on the flip side.